Hey Leo, it's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. What I'm going to be... What? This is Leo too. What I'm going to be doing is giving you your proofread for the end of February. Okay, you better come up in that reading. I love it. So, what's been going on with you guys? You know, the sun just left your 7th house, especially if you're a Leo rising, right? So there might have been a lot of things going on there. There's still some planets there too. Mercury was retrograde there in your 7th house, especially if you're that Leo rising, right? So there's some things going on with your relationships, right? I'm going to shuffle one more time. The Fool, right? Not letting anything hold you back or get in your way. And not pull you from your focus, you know? Right? This is a time for you to kind of like gather some perspective, I would say. You know, there's a brand new day on the horizon for you, for sure. There we go. Change your focus. You know, not being afraid of change and not feeling like desperate in the face of change, you know, because those ones are related to the magician, which is like, you know, I feel very capable, okay? And then they're also related to Pluto being a co-ruler of the 1st house with Mars for Aries, right? And it's talking about boundaries, right? And having to go past the margins of where you thought you could go, even if it scares you, right? Because there's meaning behind it. And then those aces also are coming from a reduction of a 10, which is talking about intimidation factors and things that kind of like create obstacles for you. Because, you know, maybe you're older, or maybe like, you know, identifying with the past version of yourself, or continuing to keep an attachment to a past situation when things have evolved and you have changed and time has gone on. That's what it teaches you. You know what I mean? That ace. It's like, you know, remember who you are and what was before that anyway, right? Especially because you got the Tower card here. So we have the High Priestess here, and this is talking about spiritual connections, right? And having faith, and also being optimistic, right? Because that's going to help you achieve balance, you know what I mean? It's almost like let spirit kind of like take you under its wing and kind of like take you where you're meant to go. It's kind of like a destiny and a fate type of thing here as well. And it also has this book here, which is like you not being able to judge the situation. You can't see past the veil right now. You know what I mean? Just because it's kind of like out of context from what you normally would see or feel or be, right? Because the 6 of Swords definitely talks about something being out of its like, you know, context, or you know, it's out of view, but it's not out of sight, right? You have your, it's like it's within sight, right? Something is within view, you know, and it's like, don't fight it, because you got the Tower card here, and that's Mars, which is talking about you're fighting something. So don't fight something, kind of like let it happen and leave something behind you like you were meant to do. It could be a relationship, just because you have the 6 of Swords, which is related to friendship, and it's also related to the lovers, right? And then we have the High Priestess here, which is related to relationships, okay? And it's also the Roman numeral 2, which looks like an 11, okay? So it says, like, you know, anything that you attach yourself to, there's always going to be something else to penetrate, another layer, you know. And the Tower and the 7s always talk about layers to things, and it talks about learning lessons, right? So this Tower moment is teaching you a lesson, right? Because it's going to get you to the 10, right? It's going to get you to the energy of the 10, right? That's where we're trying to get to, okay? So in order for us to get from one place to another, we have to leave something behind us, right? Yeah, that's what it is. And we're having to face something, you know? Something that we probably didn't, that makes us a little bit uncomfortable and that we didn't want to happen, but it's like definitely going to, make us feel like powerful in the end, you know, because it's like we can survive anything, right? That's what the Tower talks about, you surviving this. And the High Priestess also talks about that because it's connected to Pluto, right? So let's go ahead and flip over the rest of these cards. Princess of Cups. Okay. Princess of Wands, they keep coming up. Okay, so the Ace of Swords is here, and that's talking about changing focus. The Princess of Cups is talking about not being emotionally distraught or being down over the change, right? Because it's like change is inevitable, and it teaches you that sometimes you get uncomfortable emotionally about the things that you can't control because they're out of your hands, or, you know, it might just be something that's bigger than you that, you know, you just have to accept, because all of the cups are talking about reception and accepting things, right? The Princess of Wands is here too. The Princess of Wands is talking about, right? So the Princess of Cups accepts something so that the Princess of Wands can go forth, right? It's almost like you have feminine and you also have masculine energy here. But the feminine is accepting something so that the masculine energy, right, or this fire energy can assert itself, right? So you have to accept something so that you can assert something else, okay? And that's what the Ace of Swords also is talking about. It's like, you have to remember who you are. Don't let yourself slip away. You know what I mean? And not letting something get out of your hands either, right? Not letting a situation get out of control, because this is talking about control with Mercury ruling this card too. And it's controlling your thoughts, those fearful thoughts, you know, being aware that your mind is actually a little bit crazy, all of us. And it's going to show you some things that maybe you didn't think that you wanted to see, right? Because sometimes when we go down into the water to look for things, we discover things that we didn't even realize were going to be there. So there's a little bit of like holding our breath. So this is saying don't hold your breath, right? Especially with the Princess of Cups here. Because in order to like take a drink or to take a sip of something, you hold your breath, but then right after that moment of taking it in, you take your breath again. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, breathe again. That Tony Braxton song. Anyway, Princess of Cups or Princess of Wands is here, which is saying that, like, you know, new beginnings, new ways of doing things, you know, not being afraid of taking a chance to, like, go on something alone. This is like your first time doing something, right? Because the pages are kind of like on their own, and they realize that they're on their own with something, and it's the first time that they're realizing that they are on their own, you know what I mean? And like the Page of Pentacles plan to do this on their own because they know, right? They already know. They've been through it. They've had to like grow up fast, right? And the Princess of Wands is saying, like, you know, committed to doing something, whereas the Princess of Cups definitely is still kind of like connected to a time where things felt different or felt like they used to, right? But the Princess of Wands is pushing for changes, right? And for things to kind of move in a new direction. All right. Thank you so much, Leo. Wow. Thank you, guys. I'm reading these cards differently now. I like that. Like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. I will see you guys later. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot. And my personal account is NYC Kendrick. I don't know what is happening. It's because I'm getting like halfway through. And then I'm like, whoa, that's what happens. But you know, I can take a little bit of a break here. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a snacky wacky. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, Leah.